This is KBNet TV here with Marios, a teacher from Greece. We will do this premiere first Skype interview on KBNet TV. Marios, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to explain the situation in Greece to people in other countries.
Yeah, you're welcome. Marios, you're organized in the Greek Teachers Union, and you're therefore very much involved in struggles against the governmental neoliberal EU policy and struggles against the many and very heavy cutbacks in the public sector in Greece. If you would allow me, I'll just shortly update you on the situation in Denmark, where we just recently had a struggle between the workers and the government. The teachers in Denmark just been locked out for 4 weeks by their employee, the Danish Regents, and that lockout actually now holds several national records. It's the heaviest and most voluminous lockout in the public sector in the history of Denmark. But also there was a joint solidarity mobilization by teachers and supporters on the 11th of April this year, 2013, which were the biggest mobilization around the teachers and their struggle in Danish history. So some national records there. The struggle ended as the government intervened, or as the head of the teachers union called it, assaulted the teachers by rewriting the teachers and regions agreement, making it completely dominated by the regions' visions on all central aspects. So it's my perception then that in Greece it's very much the same, and you are facing only rougher cutbacks than the Danish teachers, and they were rough enough, let me tell you so. Down in Greece, it is, as I can understand, not the threat of a lockout, but the threat of a so-called civil mobilization. Could you, Marius, please start by telling me, or the viewers, what is civil mobilization, and what are the current status of the struggle of the teachers of Greece?
Okay, thank you. So it's sad to find out that teachers face similar problems in other countries too. It seems like the public education faces problems all over Europe right now. The problems here is that we, for the first time, face some kind of this so-called civil mobilization by the government, which denies our right to strike. Our trade union decided, after the new measures decided by the government, to suggest that we start a strike against these measures. And the response from the government was to give orders of civil mobilization. This means that we are in a war status, and we are obligated to work, stop every other activity, and go back to schools, and we are not allowed to strike. And this is not the first time this happens in Greece. Since last year, we are like the third or fourth trade union that faces the same problem. The new thing in our situation is that for the first time, the civil mobilization was declared before we decide to strike. At the very same point, they send orders of civil mobilization to school buildings as well. So this means nobody is allowed to occupy buildings, otherwise they will have to face the army. So since today we are in civil mobilization, and this is the reason many school teachers appear today in schools in military uniforms like this one, to demonstrate against this measure from the government.
Could you please update me and the viewers on some of the numbers that the government is trying to press down on the teachers? I mean, how heavy are these cutbacks in Greece?
So in the last year and a half, the teacher salary has reduced more than 30%. At the very same point, now they also want to increase the hours we work at the school per week from 21 to 23. This is much more than the EU average, which is only 18.5 hours per week. At the same point, you have to know that the United Nations made a study and said that 3 hours of a teacher's work is like 3 hours of a normal civil worker's hour. Because in Greece the teachers not only have to teach but also have to do secretarial work because the schools don't have secretaries, or they lack of secretaries. But this measure by the government will have the result of 10,000 people who work like right now as substitutes in the schools not to be able to work next year. This is more than 15% of the teachers working right now in Greek high schools. One more thing is that because of this measure, 4,000 people, or maybe more, this depends on the studies we have on our hands right now, will have to change places during the week to work. And in Greece, this implies that in many places, many teachers will have to change islands to work. Maybe they have to work in 2 or 3 different islands during the week in order to complete the 23 hours per week.
Sounds
So
very rough.
now, so since today we have 80,000 teachers who face arrest if they don't return to work immediately under the law of civil mobilization.
And what is your what do you think the teachers will do? I mean, you're a part of this teachers trade union. You are participating in these struggles every day. What is your opinion? What will happen now in Greece with this struggle?
Unfortunately, the situation is very difficult because under the law of civil mobilization, a strike is impossible to declare or to apply. Even if it was declared, it was not possible to really apply because people face arrest, face also the threat of not be able to work anymore in high schools, and we have to think of other ways to organize our struggle. We also had problems because the reformist leaders of the of the Civil Workers Confederation didn't declare a strike to help us on this struggle. So we have to find a way to organize our strength from below, let's say. And this is the main thing we have to work. Now we focus on cancelling the civil mobilization because we have information that they want to keep this civil mobilization maybe for much longer, in order maybe for the whole summer or even more. Other workers, or the workers who work in harbors in Greece, they are under the law of civil mobilization for more than a year right now, and they were not even able to strike during the May Day, Workers' Day, the May 1st.
Thank you very much, Marius. I think there's very many similarities to the Danish situation and the policy led by the Danish Social Democratic government, because from my perspective and my analysis is that this policy is all part of the EU neoliberal policy. Can you agree on that from your from you there in Greece now?
I totally agree. I think in Greece, during this capitalist crisis, we faced all the problems of applying the program of Troika, of the IMF, of the European Bank and EU. And if you see the situation in the entire Europe, we face the same problems. The unemployment in Greece right now is still rising, is 27%, and especially for the young people is 64%. These rates increase every day, and we see no better days. It seems they want to take back all the things the working class earned all these years before, and if we don't make an organized struggle against this, there won't be end to the situation. I think that we need a bigger coordination during along the Europe for this one, because the attack is so big, and we need to strike back.
I think another question, because the Danish population and the working class in Denmark can see in the news from time to time on the internet that there seems to be always being struggles in Greece. We always see these pictures of fighting, police and demonstrators. How is it to live in Greece these years, as the class war is really reaching some new heights, at least from a Danish perspective?
Right now in Greece, it's true that we have a lot of arrests in every mobilization. I think the police became more and more aggressive, and the government takes more and more measures to stop people from striking, people from fighting. And I think this is the result of the attack, and for people becoming poorer and poorer. And I think we are going to see the same things in other countries soon. If you see the figures, right now we have a lot of I don't know how, maybe more than 1,000 arrests in the last year from people demonstrating against the government in Greece right now. We have a lot of strikes in all the different sectors. But I think this is going to generalize in Europe. This is not going to stay only in Greece. We already know that Spain is coming, Italy is coming, the whole South Europe is coming, and the things are becoming more and more worse.
Thank you very much, Marius. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you all the best, and I hope that we might be able to catch you in some weeks and to get an update on the situation in Greece. Thank you.
I would like to thank you for giving the opportunity once more to explain these things in our countries and also get feedback from your country. This is very, very interesting for us and for our strategy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.